The PS5 was finally unveiled, but we're still missing a lot of information. This is Last Week in Tech. Hey guys, welcome to Last Week in Tech, the show where we take a look at some of the biggest stories last week in tech. My name is Jonathan, and let's get right into some of the biggest stories last week. The biggest announcement was from Sony. Yes, we finally got an official look at the PlayStation 5. And it's a brand new design. You may love it, you may hate it, but it's different. Some say it looks like a router. Others have made their own PlayStation 5s out of their PlayStation 4s. I personally really like the PlayStation 5 design. And I might be in the minority, but I think it's different. You can obviously stand it up like you see here in the pictures, but you can also lay it down so it can easily fit in your entertainment system. Hopefully, we don't really know how big it actually is. There's going to be two models of the PlayStation 5. One is going to be a all digital version without any disk drives or any way to play your physical copy of your games. The other standard version, of course, will have the disk drive in it. But after seeing the design of these two models, I really like how that all digital version looks. And then after seeing that all digital version and going back to seeing how the standard version looks, the bulge that it has there for the disk drive, I don't know, it just looks a little funny to me. That might be just me, that's my opinion. But we also got to take a look at some interesting games. Gran Turismo 7, of course, Gran Turismo is gonna look beautiful. We expected that. But there was also the Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. So that looks really interesting, and also a brand new Ratchet & Clank. But looking at these games, we streamed this event in 1080p at 30 frames per second. That really doesn't show off the capabilities of the PlayStation 5. We expect these games to be running in 120 frames per second at 4K. And we expect the PlayStation 5 to do that. So really, it's just a glimpse of what the games are gonna look like. They, of course, definitely will look better in real life. But these are some really interesting games. There was a lot more announced as far as games go, so if you have a moment, take a look at it for yourself. But there's also a few things that we don't know about the PlayStation 5. First of all, the price. I expect that the PlayStation 5 digital version is going to be cheaper than the standard version with a disk drive, but that's obvious. We don't know how much cheaper that digital version is going to be, or what the price of the standard version is also going to start at. So those are two things we're going to have to wait and see. We also don't know the official release date of the PlayStation 5. Yes, we've heard that it's going to be holiday 2020, so the end of this year, but that can be November or December. We don't have an exact date. So those are just things that are kind of up in the air still. We have to just wait and see. But I am genuinely excited about the PlayStation 5. But let me know in the comment section below, did you like what you saw from Sony and the PlayStation 5? Did you like the new design? Let me know with a comment down below. Now let's move on to something else that caught my attention this past week. And shout out to Mario for sending me this article. It was an interesting article. It wasn't really news. Well, I guess it was. I'm a huge smartphone fan, and in fact this channel is primarily about smartphones. And it spoke about how smartphone design is continuing to advance. But it's not from manufacturers that you would normally hear this type of news from, like Samsung, Apple, Google. And the article here on Forbes.com, it spoke about Chinese manufacturer Vision X. And they're the first to develop a smartphone with a selfie camera that's concealed underneath the display. I mean, we've heard about this happening with Samsung phones for a couple years now, but we haven't seen anything that showed us that it's possible. Well, we're seeing news now that these Chinese manufacturers have already developed this technology, and they're starting to push it out to their other Chinese manufacturers. So what it means is that smartphones from these Chinese manufacturers will no longer have bezels, they won't have notches, and they won't have punch hole selfie cameras. They will be concealed, these cameras will be concealed underneath that display, which is amazing. That's exactly what I've wanted. We, of course, don't like notches. We don't like bezels. We've seen this trend towards bezel-less displays, and having a display that's completely bezel-less without any punch holes, that's exactly what we're trending towards. But the problem is we're not seeing this from the big manufacturers that are making smartphones that we're used to, like Samsung, Apple. These are the companies that we want to see that push forward this type of design, but we're not seeing it. In fact, we're seeing that these Chinese manufacturers are kind of gaining a lead ahead of those others. So what is this showing us? Well, that Samsung, Apple, and especially Google, they need to step up. They really need to push forward this design of the smartphone. They really need to take a look at what these Chinese manufacturers are doing and really start to push forward their innovation in their smartphones. I mean, let's face it, Pixel is known for great cameras and great software, right? That's what Google's known for. But I think they should also start to take a look at what else is being developed in these Chinese phone manufacturers. They're really focusing on great design, innovation when it comes to displays. Take a look at what's happening out there and really push forward what you could do with a smartphone. I mean, I'm getting tired now of having the same old smartphone every year. I want to see new innovations. For example, I love that Samsung came out with a folding display. I love that. Who knows if it's actually gonna take off and be something that we use in the future, but I like that Samsung took the time to make a phone that's innovative, that's different. And I'm hoping that more companies do the same. Now, let's get into some deals. And because the PlayStation 5 was announced last week, I figured let's stick now to some video game deals. And those deals are coming from Nintendo of all places. Nintendo rarely has any sales on their games, so it's nice to see that this sale is taking place right now. And the sale goes only until June 16th, so take advantage of it if you can. Some notable games that are for sale right now is Super Mario Party, Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and Mario Tennis Aces. So there are some really good deals. I'll go ahead and leave a link to each of these games in the description below, so take a look at it, and I'll also leave a link to all the deals. There's plenty of games that are for sale right now, and that's it. There were some very interesting announcements. Finally, after being postponed, we were able to see the PlayStation 5. It's different. It's not what I expected. Once again, I really like it. Not everyone does. Let me know if you liked it with a comment down below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos on tech news, reviews, and much, much more, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification bell icon so you don't miss any of our new videos. And I'll see you next week.